Tonight in the war with Iran, there is urgent breaking news, and I am not sure what it is. And my not knowing began last night. You'll remember Trump had threatened to kill a 5,000-year-old civilization.
Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay? We're going to kill them. You know, they're going to be like dead. Okay.
A routine late-night segment was expected to deliver quick laughs and move on, but Stephen Colbert suddenly shifted the mood with an unexpected reveal that had nothing to do with comedy, bringing up a historical name in a document that made the studio fall unusually quiet, leaving everyone wondering what he was really trying to prove and why the energy changed so fast.
Gave a national primetime address. It was concise, intelligent, and brought the nation together with shared purpose.
See, we don't need him. Freedom, freedom. He's a dictator. He's a dictator. A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator. I don't like a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I'm a man with great common sense and I'm a smart person.
A moment unfolded on live TV where a confident public claim collided with basic records, leaving the room unsure whether to laugh, cringe, or ignore it, especially when a familiar narrative about family history resurfaced, this time challenged by someone who came prepared with facts instead of patience.
He posted his latest plans for the war in Iran. Tuesday will be power plant day and bridge day all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the...
The claim had been circulating for years, repeated with such confidence that it started to feel true. But the problem was simple. Official records had never supported it. Not once, no matter how often it was said.
p.m. Eastern, but a little more than 1 hour before that deadline, Trump agreed to a 2-week ceasefire with Iran. Finally, the war was over for a bit.
Every verified record points to the same place, Bronx, New York, October 11th, 1905, with birth certificates, archives, and reports all telling a consistent story, leaving no room for mystery or alternative versions, just a clear fact that has always been publicly available.
He gave a speech tonight on the first night of Passover, so whether you're Jewish or not, I recommend having had 4 glasses of wine. Now, I haven't seen the speech yet, one, because we actually taped the show a little before 6 o'clock.
Some nights, late-night TV stops feeling like entertainment and starts resembling an experiment in how far an audience can follow before things feel real. And that is exactly what happened when Colbert turned a routine segment into something that had people laughing nervously while trying to figure out if they were watching comedy or something more deliberate.
Realizing John Lennon's dream.
All we are saying is peace for 2 weeks.
Trump.
In the middle of a familiar rhythm of political satire, the tone shifted in a way that signaled this was no longer just another joke, as Colbert slowly built momentum before introducing Fred Trump into the conversation. And the moment a document appeared, the audience hesitated, unsure if it was part of the act or something more serious.
You crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. You know, it is not often that a network has to bleep the words of a sitting president. Hasn't happened since Truman put that famous sign on his desk.
Colbert handled the moment with precise timing, letting curiosity build as he referenced Fred Trump's birth record in a way that blurred comedy and revelation. And instead of explaining, he let the silence carry the tension, creating a reaction that spread quickly online as people tried to interpret what they had just seen.
In teasing his remarks, the administration promised an important update on Iran. My fellow Americans, we are ending our war in Iran. Actually, let me back up a second. We're doing a war in...
As the pace slowed, the audience leaned in, expecting a punchline, but what followed felt more like a setup for something deeper, especially when Fred Trump was brought into focus, shifting the energy from humor to something that felt closer to a staged uncovering wrapped in satire.
Trump announced the deal on social media, calling it a double-sided ceasefire. Okay, that is cool, but aren't all peace deals double-sided? I believe there's a word for a single-sided ceasefire.
The tension built gradually through pacing rather than drama, circling around something important until a document was casually introduced, triggering a controlled but noticeable reaction as the audience realized this was no longer behaving like a typical comedy segment.
This Easter Day thread of carnage had an unexpected ending. Praise be to Allah. President Donald J. Trump. Praise be to Allah, as we say every Easter. Salam alaikum.
What made it more unusual was how casually it was presented, like an old record being pulled out for discussion, leaving the audience unsure whether to laugh or analyze, as the real impact came not from the document itself, but from how differently it was being framed.
Is it part of Venezuela? Where'd that go from? Trump's been all over the map when it comes to Iran. First, he said he wouldn't leave until the Strait of Hormuz is open. Yesterday, he said
the discussion shifted toward how narratives around political families take shape, showing how even basic information can gain exaggerated meaning once it enters public debate, turning the segment into a reflection on how stories are interpreted and repeated across media.
no worries for the rest of your days. A few hours later, thank you.
The atmosphere began to feel like a mix between a courtroom and a comedy set, where every detail carried both seriousness and humor, highlighting how easily perception is shaped and how quickly repeated ideas turn into accepted beliefs.
An astonishing move by President Donald Trump. A surprise attack on Venezuela where the country saw elite U.S. forces capture the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife in a brazen, large-scale strike overnight. The massive assault.
The segment stood out because it avoided a clean conclusion, leaving the audience somewhere between laughter and reflection, with a lingering curiosity that came not from what was shown, but from how it made people question the story behind it.
I say war because it sure looks like a war, and Trump keeps calling it a war, but Congress never declared it a war, and MAGA was promised no new wars. So the White House sent out a list of talking points to all the congressional Republicans, telling them in no uncertain terms.
As the segment came to an end, it became clear that the most memorable moments are not the ones that answer questions, but the ones that leave people quietly wondering how something so simple turned into something much bigger.
Those Epstein files must be crazy. I mean,
there was a noticeable shift as humor blended with observation, turning jokes into reflections on how information spreads, with pacing that allowed the audience to process each layer while reframing the same idea from different angles.
Asks, can you promise the American people this will not be a long, drawn-out war? The answer to give is, these are targeted major combat operations. So it's worse than a war.
The audience reaction became more thoughtful, as if they were no longer just watching comedy, but engaging with a layered narrative, where meaning depended on perspective, and the discussion moved beyond the document itself into how stories evolve over time.
This operation, launched just 2 days into the new year, came as a shock, especially since, and this is true, Trump's New Year's resolution was peace on earth. Well, that didn't last long.
By the end, the focus shifted from what was said to why these conversations keep returning, leaving a quieter but lasting impact, as the moment felt less like a conclusion and more like the start of a discussion that would continue beyond the show.